The Nintendo Switch 2 Direct was honestly pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It was pretty good. But they did have some points where it kind of caught me off guard when I was just like, does this even look even different from the Switch? And that's what I'm here to talk about today, is talk about the good points and the bad points of the Switch 2. But overall, in my opinion, I really think the Switch 2 Direct was really good. It has so many amazing games that are coming out on the Switch 2. Just the reveals of Mario Kart World, which we honestly knew that was coming out from the Nintendo Switch 2 trailer they had a few months ago. Which I'm so stoked about that Mario Kart. Like, bro, when I seen that, I was like, yo, okay. This Mario Kart is gonna be dope. And what really made me love it, which I'm gonna be talking about that in my future videos. So please subscribe to my channel if you guys like to hear more about that. When I do talk about that, I will be posting that video sometime in the next few days. I would say I'm gonna be really chiming in on making a lot of videos coming up. But just back to that, bro, y'all. When I tell y'all, I was like, yo, this is insanely my favorite, probably gonna be one of my favorite Mario Karts, just because of the expansion they have with the characters, the face expressions. Now they're doing something different, completely different. It's literally gonna be like there's a battle royale to it as well. And the battle royale part is like insane to me, because when I think about it, a lot of games and companies, developers, like they're moving into that battle royale style just because of how so much of many people are playing that. And I think that Mario Kart, just Nintendo finessing their way to make something like that knockout. I don't know how much people are going to play that, but just having now 24 racers in a circuit, I think is insanely good by Nintendo. And then I'm not even gonna talk more about that. And then my second favorite thing, oh my gosh, y'all, like, it's actually insane to me, which I'm gonna be talking about that in another video of mine, is Donkey Kong Bananaza. That's how you say that? Bananaza, I think. Bro, anyways, that shit is so fire, bro. Y'all, like, I had made a freaking recording of my live reaction to it, but I didn't record the actual video. So I'm kind of upset about it, because I would have had to do a lot of editing to like kind of match my audio with the video, and I wouldn't want to do that. So I just decided not to post that. But I will be definitely talking about those two games, and I will be dropping those videos very shortly after I drop this video. Please subscribe to your boy channel if you want to see more. I will be dropping very shortly. Let's talk about it. Okay, so when they dropped the Direct, I came home from work, I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, this Direct is crazy. They dropped Mario Kart World, I'm like, that's nice. So then they start talking about the actual features of the Switch, which I think improvement wise is so much better. Bigger screen, obviously, the more bigger the better. You can hold more storage, which I like about that 256 gigabytes, which they didn't have previously, which sucks, because man, I'm downloading games on my Switch and then I had to delete some games at the same time. That's why I felt like I never really brought games, because they really had games on here that I really like to play. And they're pretty big, and I'm like, man, I can't even download other games without deleting this game. So it kind of sucked, but we just had to deal with it. But really, something that I really enjoyed about this now is that the Joy-Cons are so much better. I hated the Switch Joy-Cons. I never even used it. I barely used it. I only use it for certain games that needed to use the Joy-Cons, like Mario Party or something like that. But other than that, I just use a Pro Controller, because it was just honestly my main thing that I like to use. It felt more comfortable. But now they updated the Switch 2, and now the Joy-Cons are more bigger. They're more compatible. The stick is honestly even better too, so it's bigger, so you have a more comfortable way of moving on, with your hands on the Joy-Cons. And honestly, I think it's a more slick design. I like the accent of the red and blue, but also I like this is the overall slick design that is black instead of the color. Like, don't get me wrong, I think in the future I will probably be like, okay, I like the Joy-Cons with the color, because it looks kind of cool like that. But we will see. Other than that, like I said, like the screen, oh my gosh, the screen looks so much better. That is 1020 frames per second instead of 60, so it looks so much better and cleaner. And like, there's a video of people like showing it, because you can't really see it on the Direct how it looks, but there's literally a video of someone showing that I think that looks super awesome, super dope. They compared the Switch to the Switch 2, and like, if you look at it, it just looks completely better. I'm gonna show a clip of that, but man, it looks completely so much good. But yo, guys, like, if my opinion, if I'm telling you, I don't really like the fact that the UI, the whole screen, as soon as you boot up and you enter the home screen of the whole Nintendo Switch 2, it literally looks like the Switch. There's no difference in it, and that kind of makes me upset. I was looking at it while watching, and I'm like, why does this look the same exactly like the freaking Switch? I was like, why did they not really put no soul into it? And it kind of reminds me of like the Wii, which I don't get me wrong, the Wii is very iconic. Just having that like type of like, channel. So you click on a channel, it's like you're watching many different TVs, or you're like a security guard and you're like clicking on a different channel to watch this screen or watch this video, whatever. But it's just my opinion, like when I look at the overall designs of like the Xbox and the PlayStation, their UI or their home screen, whatever you want to say, it just looks completely, it just looks like it looks so much better. It doesn't have to be a completely crazy difference, but the difference is there, and that's what I like. I felt like Nintendo was very lacking, and to me that's very disappointing, because I feel like when it comes to their games, Nintendo are very like, okay, let's get on and let's make something very different and new. Even though they do like to kind of, remake games and stuff like that, or re-update games and then, release them again. It's still, when they make a new game, the game is actually, in my opinion, it could be awesome. It could be pretty bad too, depending on what it is. But mainly their big franchise and their big IPs, their games are pretty much, pretty good. Except for Luigi Mansion 3. I had to say. But anyways, like, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, bro, why does it look so plain? Why they couldn't add, like, make it look cooler, make it look the visually designed, and when you click on, a game, it boosts up. I really like how the Wii, when you click on a game, it made the sound of a certain game. Every time I think of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, I think of me clicking on that sound. That I'm gonna have to post that. I'm sorry, y'all. That sounds so fire, bro. That sound is one of my favorite sounds to hear in any time, all time. Like when you just click on that, when you click on Super Smash Bros., that game was so fire to hear that right before you start the game, actually. But they could have did something like that, and I just think they really is lacking. It's just so simple. And, when I think of video games, I think of like crazy designs. It's a computer, man. Like make it fun, make it exciting, make it exaggerating. Like, I just think they're trying to go for this slick design, but it's just like, come on. I know they're putting all their games on there, but speaking of games, why are freaking games 80? So the digital is going to be $80, and then the freaking hard copy is going to be 90. And I'm just like, okay, why are we paying for this much? It doesn't make no sense for us to pay. I'm really ranting right now, and I'm gonna be so for real. I feel like I hate inflation. And I hate that the fact that inflation is happening, that these prices are skyrocketing. I always go back to look at GTA now. GTA, everybody's talking about GTA gonna be about $100, maybe even more, because of a certain additions they're gonna have. When I look at freaking GTA and I think of that, that's to me, okay. I don't know, because like I always gonna agree. I think games should be between $50 and $60. If it's like a special edition, yes, you can charge a little bit more. But in my opinion, a game being $80 to $90 is just insane to me. I really grew up buying games at $50, and seeing now games being $90 is just insane to me. Next thing you know, games are going to be $200, and nobody's not going to really be buying games at that point. People are going to be playing the same game since the early 2000s, because at this point, nobody's not going to want to buy these expensive ass games. And I'm like, what is going on with Nintendo and this greed that they have? They are so greedy right now. And then from here, like, I'm not too sure about this, but from here, and I'm hearing that Nintendo is basically saying that if it's a really big game, you're still going to have to download the game on Wi-Fi. So if you don't have Wi-Fi and you buy the game hard copy, you can't download the game because it's too big. So basically, we're still buying the game digital, which I don't understand. That makes me so mad. Like, I was talking to one of my coworkers yesterday at work, and he's just like, that's kind of scares me from buying a Nintendo Switch 2 just because of that. Because why would I want to buy a full game and I brought in my own money, and then it's literally still not technically mine? Now, I might be confusing myself, but please let me know in the comment if I am. Please correct me. I don't care if you guys correct me. Just be respectful. Just correct me if I am wrong. But if I'm right, I think that's crazy. Like, and from what I'm hearing and when I seen on Twitter and stuff like that, or X, whatever you want to call it, It's just, to me, that's insane to me, and I think that's crazy that Nintendo is doing that. Like, what? And for them to do that, they really, if they're gonna do that, they really need to fix that freaking game chat video, whatever you want to call it, video chat, because ain't no way I'm looking at if I'm looking at my homeboy and he playing the game, and then I'm looking at his gameplay and it looks all pixelated and stuff. Well, not pixelated, but the frames is just so wonky and buggy. I'm just like, bro, what do you mean you want me to play? You want me to play with my friends and then use the video game chat mode, and then it just looks so buggy. Now, I did see on from watching the trailer of it, it does look like a pretty cool function for kids. I'm gonna be so honest, because you can control it. Parents can control who their kids can talk, who they la 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 la. Sorry, parents can control to what their kids can do on the video chat, and when how much. Well, I don't know how about to say how much, but from what I seen, I wasn't really paying attention to it. But I like that it does look fun for the kids. For me, I'm just going to stick to Discord, and I'm sure a lot of my audience use Discord. I think Discord is just the best way to form communication with your friends for online gaming, or just gaming in general, or just even talking. So I'm going to stick with Discord. I think that's what Nintendo should have done. But Nintendo always want to be different. They never really want to partner with people unless it's Capcom. Let me stop playing. But it's just like, they could have partnered with Discord, and I think Discord would have been totally fine. And for them not to use Discord, I think it's just like, yeah, that's why Nintendo is not at the top. Nintendo is at the top when it comes to like their own franchise, but when it comes to like their games itself, like the console itself, they're never on the top. And it kind of sucks, because it's been like that since the Wii U, and I'm starting to see that with the Switch too, because I'm like, man, like, come on, like, y'all could have done so much better. Y'all could have done so much better with the UI. You like looking at y'all. Why would y'all release that trailer knowing damn well that the guys, the video looks so buggy. The video looks so bad. I'm just watching it, like, I'm like, yo, what is this? Like, why does it look so bad? This is horrible. What is Nintendo doing? Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, they could have done so much better with this. Like, what? Why did they release this? They could have just waited until they got that to look so much better. Now, don't get me wrong. They have a few months now, so it's already it's April 4th already, I believe. So let me check my calendar. No, it's April 5th already. They literally have a whole 2 months, 2 months from today now, to make sure that video game chat mode is finalized and finished, and it doesn't look laggy and buggy, because that is horrible. That is horrible. But like I said, I think that mode is really good for kids. I don't think I'm really going to be caring to use that mode unless I have a friend who doesn't have Discord or something like that, and we just use the game mode just because we're already on the Switch, and we're just like, okay, let's just use it for audio base wise. So I do like that fact that you do have that. It's kind of like a Discord. I prefer that Nintendo just use Discord. I think Discord would have been so much better, like how Xbox used Discord, and I think PlayStation now is going to be also using Discord soon too. Or I think they already do, but I'm not too sure. I don't have a PlayStation. Sadly, I don't. I'm trying to get a PC, so don't really care to get the PlayStation or Xbox. But also, I do like that now the game card now is red. I think that gives a differentiation off from the actual Switch and then the Switch 2. But I do hope Nintendo, kind of like for a different game or a special game, they kind of changed the color of the the game card. This is how they did with the cartridges on the Nintendo 64. I think that's super dope. And when I'm gonna give you a hint. If you think about Donkey Kong 64, if you think about 007 GoldenEye, like, I think about those games, how it go. I think it was 007 GoldenEye, I believe was blue, if I'm not mistaken, and then Donkey Kong 64 was yellow. Dude, I think that's super dope. And now that they kind of doing this color change, I think they might do that for certain games on the Nintendo Switch too. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, the Pro Controller, it looks like the regular Pro Controller. It looks just like the same one from the Switch. I just do like the slick design of that gray, that light grayness from the bumpers. So I really do like that. I think that's very cool. And the last thing I want to talk about is Nintendo Switch Edition. Or the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. In my opinion, I think that's a really good thing, because it updates the game, the games that was on the Switch. Some games got released and it hasn't been out for so long, like Tears of Kingdom. So you definitely can upgrade that game onto the Switch too, which I think is pretty cool. But from looking at it, and from when I look at Mario Party, and then you look at Tears of Kingdom, Breath of Wild, I don't know. I just don't really see anything too big from it. I do know that the Kirby game is getting an additional story, so I feel like they would do that. But not many games are going to be, from this. Well, they could take certain games like Pikmin 4, maybe even Super Mario Odyssey, which I don't think Nintendo would do that because I believe they are working on a new 3D Mario game, and most likely they are. So I don't see Nintendo doing that. But I don't know. Like, I'm looking at my notes, and from when I wrote down on this, I just don't see it being that best addition to the Nintendo Switch 2. It just don't really give off a good feeling. I can't really explain it to you guys, but from just looking at the trailer of it, or just say the reveal of it from the direct, it doesn't excite me at all. Like, I don't think I want to spend an extra $20-$40 for an edition unless it's like it gives me a new character, or it gives me a new story mode, like the Kirby game. They said like it has a new story mode. I think that's dope. When they showed Breath of the Wild and Tears of Kingdom, they showing this little thing you can do on your phone, and you can basically take people's data from when they make they make something. I haven't played Legend of Zelda, the Tears of Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, but I've seen gameplays. But you can make something, and then you can basically transfer their data onto your game, and then use their data on your game. Which I'm not gonna lie, I think that's a pretty dope. That's a pretty dope way to like use somebody else's data and transfer data and stuff like that. I think that's dope. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I don't know. I just don't see it being a big future unless it's something that I just said, which is, new characters, new story mode. That's just honestly how I see it. If it's not that, I just don't, I really don't see nobody using that mode anyway. And I did see they also had it for Metroid, the new Metroid game, Prime 4, which, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just don't see it being that too well. I mean, please let me know what you guys think about Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Like, do you guys think you like it? Are you going to get it? Do you think like it's a kind of greedy from Nintendo? I really think it's very greedy, because like, just leave the game be. If we can already translate the game from Switch 1 to the Switch 2, why would I want to buy the edition for? Like, I just don't see myself caring too much about it. And I think from what I heard, like, you have to editions also added to like having online. So if you don't have online, then you can't use the edition mode. So I don't know. Nintendo's been kind of greedy. Nintendo's starting to remind me of Disney, and I'm starting not to like it. But that's kind of my gripe on Nintendo Switch 2. I really love the games they drop. I think the indie games even look even good, so I'm going to definitely check out those indie games, or did I say the self-developed titles that these game developers are making on for the Switch 2. So I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for Mario Kart World and the new DK game. DK, let me say that, Donkey Kong Bananazak. Why am I saying that so weird? Bananazak. Anyway, I'm super excited for those two games. I can't wait for more. I know that Sakurai is working on a new Kirby Air Riders, which I think I will try to play that game. It looks, I heard it came. I know it came out on the GameCube. I never played it, but I'm gonna test it out because it's coming from my boy Sakurai. I just hope that in the next year, though, so I think it won't be till next year. I feel like we won't see anything about Smash until then. I think we won't see anything about Smash until Sakurai finish with Kirby Air Riders, because I just don't see it being anywhere near now. So I think right now we're going to be focusing on the new DK game, and then the Mario Kart game as well. And I think that's where Nintendo's going to go from there. After that, I think we will be seeing something about a new Mario game win the next year. And then I feel like Super Smash Bros. Will come later win that next year too. But we will see. We will see, guys. We will see. But anyways, I thank you guys for checking out my video. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know when I was just ranting, I'm just ranting because I love the Nintendo Switch 2. I think the design looks very new and slick. I loved it. I love that there's now 1020 frames per second. I think that's really nice. The screen quality looks even more better. So, I can't complain on that. But I think inside of the Switch, I think they can do a lot more better. They need to fix the video game chat mode as well. That just looks horrible from what we've seen on that reveal. And overall, that edition, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, we will see more about that. I think it's still fresh and new, so I'm not gonna get on it too much, but you get my opinion on it. But I would love to hear you guys. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. please drop it below in the comments. That's something I'd like to hear. But anyways, thank you for coming and checking out my video. Please subscribe, please share this video. I'm really trying to just reach out as many people as I can. I can't wait to live stream and just be able to talk to you guys and have a very genuine connection, because I feel like that's when I can really express myself. I am trying to express myself more as much as I can. But thank you guys for coming. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. I'll be forgetting. I may have some ladies on here. So I appreciate all y'all for coming out. Have a beautiful, blessed Saturday. Be safe and have a good one.